Hey guys, I wanted to go over the constructed response questions for the final tomorrow. Make sure you understand how to do them and how to use your calculator to answer them. So if you need to, pay attention. I will do these one at a time, so if you're only having problems with one of them, you only need to watch one video. Starting off with number 1, where we're building stem plots, histograms, and describing the graph, okay? And we can use the calculator to do the histogram on that. Constructing a stem plot of this data, so it's important, I did mine this way because it was a long set of data, and if you do it all in one column like this, when you turn it this way, you can almost get a sense of what the histogram is going to look like. So I did the stem and the leaf. I did the one spot in the stem and the 10th spot or after the decimals on the leaf here. And you need to make sure that you are putting here, if this is the ones, if this is the 10s, if this is 100th spot and this is the 10th spot, however you're going to do it, if you don't label it, people won't know. So here I found everything that had 0 in the ones. So we had 0.1, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, and those were all in the data. And to have a perfect stem plot, they have to be in order from smallest to largest. So starting with 0.1 and going to 0.8, 1.1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.5. If you want to take a minute now and pause this so that you can finish doing your stem and leaf plot, I'll let you do that. And then we'll go on and do our histogram. You also might want to put right now, before you put me on pause, or after you put me on pause, put this data into the calculator. I have already done it. You go to Stat, Edit to get to your list, and I put this data into L1. You can see I have 0.1, 7.9, 3.3, 14.4, all the way down to the end. Okay? So when we're constructing the histogram, you need to make sure you have everything labeled. So you have percent of Hispanic origin is going to be on the x-axis. The actual number of states is going to be on the y-axis. And I did mine in the calculator and then wrote this down. I put it in the list, L1, okay? Then if you go to second stat plot, enter, make sure the one you want to use is on, okay? Make sure that you have the histogram here, all right? And I'm using list L1. The easiest way to get a histogram is to then go zoom, maybe not. Okay, zoom, and I think it's 9 for zoom stat, enter, okay, and you have your histogram. Now, if I did window, this tells you I'm going from 0 to 15, and I'm counting by 3s. If I go back to my graph and I hit trace, it'll tell me that from 0 to 3, I have 16 pieces of data. So you can see on my paper, from 0 to 3, I made this, I counted by 2s, I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 pieces of data. Then if you arrow over this way, it'll tell you from 3 to 6, there's 4 pieces. And I did that here, and I wrote the number on it. Okay, 6 to 9, 2. That number 2 is where it tells you how much is in there. Again, 2 and 2. Okay? Lastly, but not leastly, based on your graphs in A and B, describe the overall pattern of the distribution and any outliers. Okay? So on page 230 to 231 in your book, it tells you everything that you need to describe a graph. So for this particular graph, I said it is skewed to the right because the tail goes to the right. It has a single peak right here, one big peak. The center is roughly 2.5. I just found the median from my data in the calculator. With the spread between 0 and 6 and the outliers in the tail, okay? Because my median was way down here at like 2.5, I knew that all of these happened to be outliers over here. All right, so that concludes the first constructed response question. I'm going to get started on the other ones now. And let me know if you have any questions. Please practice with the calculator because you are going to waste time and energy if you do not know how to use it. I hope you guys have a great night.